last meeting, and then we also have some claims for June.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on these? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. All right, so next, the main event. We have a newly appointed Veteran Affairs Commissioner. I guess before I get started on that, is there anything the commissioners want to put out, or anyone that was involved in the interviews want to put out?
We have the staff report that was submitted from the interview team. Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors, Lynn Groby and Tim Liquin, along with current Veterans Commissioner Chair Skylar Dooley, the Director of Planning, myself, and Risk Manager Garfield Coleman interviewed a total of 4 candidates for the Veterans Affairs Commission. The team would like to thank all those who applied and add that the group was extremely qualified to serve on the Veterans Affairs Commission for Potawatomi County. The interview team would like to recommend that the Board of Supervisors appoint Mick Gutah. Mick is a proven community leader who has served in Vietnam. Throughout his military career, Mick was awarded a Bronze Star, 29 Air Medals, Air Medal with V for Valor, Distinguished Flying Cross, Oak Leaf Cluster. He has and is serving on boards at local, state, national, and international levels while keeping his local community in mind. The team believes that Mick's experience will add considerably to the commission and the work that the department does.
Thanks for that.
With that, Chairman Schultz, I'll make a motion that the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors appoints Mick Gutah as Commissioner on the VA.
I'll second
Okay. Motion is second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Mr. Wickman, if you would, if you'd administer the oath. Mick, if you want to come up front, we're going to have you sign your life away again. Here's the pen. There you go.
Right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mick Gutah,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully discharge the appointed duties as Commissioner of Veteran Affairs
and will faithfully discharge the duties as Commissioner of the Commission of Veterans Affairs
according to the best of my ability as defined in Iowa Code 35B.
according to the best of my ability as defined in Iowa Code 35B.
Congratulations, Mick.
Thank you.
You have to sign this real quick.
Oh, yes.
You didn't sign yours yet, Justin.
Yeah, I will. All right, well, congratulations.
Yep. Thanks, Mick.
Are you done with me? We're done with you for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Judy.
No, it's the first time I've had a tie on since COVID started.
He made me do it.
Have a good
See you Thursday.
Okay.
Well, this will be a great addition to the team, I think, so. Okay. Next on the agenda, our second main event.
Second appointment. Second.
Lily Boss, Treasurer, update discussion and decision on home tax sale and the amount of delinquent
Thanks,
taxes
Mike.
owed.
This is just a let you know,
Thank you.
because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Thank you.
And these are just
Thank you.
statistics that I have that, no. Of the, we take in probably at the tax sale, 1.2 million, up to 1.4. Right now, our delinquent taxes are at 3 million. And a lot of counties are sending out like a courtesy delinquent notice to outstanding people. As you see in your little statistics, there's a list of the high dollar of people that have not paid. There's some hotels, there's some businesses down at the Manawa Center, and I don't know which was which, if it's which one by JCPenney or Target. There's some of those. And then you look at, their record, and they have paid usually all the time. a lot of people in March forget if they didn't pay their first half, and they need just a notification that they're going to need to pay. So what I'm gonna do, I have to work with IT to get my Word document, because I have probably over 3,000 delinquent notices that have to be sent out I'd like to send them out this week. Once that happens, usually we get quite a bit of monies that would come in to the county, which I think that is a plus. Whether we have a tax sale or not, that depends on the governor's decision. They have an attorney general that is gonna make a decision, and Leanne, I thought she was, there she is, my gosh, I want her in my backup. Leanne's on a committee with the attorney general, and she can kind of say a few words of her phone conversation or Zoom yesterday about the whole situation.
Yeah, so there's a number of counties that have been asking if they can have a tax sale. There's been a little bit of a disagreement over whether, if you don't have a tax sale in June, whether you can have a subsequent tax sale. Those of us who were on the phone conference yesterday, I believe there were 12 people involved. A couple were attorneys from the Department of Revenue. One was from the AG's office, and the rest of us were various county attorneys from across the state. And we pretty much all agreed that it would be possible to have a tax sale, but we're, this year for 2020. But the earliest one would be probably August, maybe September. So basically you would be having tax, letting people know your property's gonna go up for tax sale. And at the same time, or within a month, you also have the first half of taxes due for the next year, which is kind of a double whammy for some people. It was also suggested that maybe the tax sale, the governor could just say the tax sale is postponed, that there won't be a 2020 tax sale. School districts may be upset with that because they're the ones who would get the majority of the money. There's just a lot in flux right now, and basically the treasurers are the ones who need to kind of make the decision. But if the treasurer and the board of supervisors pass a resolution saying that for good cause, and stating what the good cause is, you're unable to hold a tax sale this month, and then every month you could postpone the tax sale. That's what Polk County is planning on doing, because they do their tax sales in person, and there's usually about 600 people present. It's just not a good idea to have 6 people in one space right now. Ours are done online. I'm not exactly sure what good cause would be. Part of it, I think, is going to be depending on also what the governor decides to do. Right now, the interest and any, late fees, penalties and such are waived. But the end of this month, I believe that's no longer going to be the case. So, one suggestion was, well, she could say that you're no longer waiving late fees, interest, penalties and such, but you can't have a tax sale. So that basically in June of next year, we would have a sale for 2020 as well as 2021.
And
She
these
gets
delinquencies would be added to
That
next
one.
year.
Right.
She gets to make the call herself, then is that what the deal is?
We were discussing, she may or may not have that authority, but it's not our job as county attorneys to say what she has. But we were just saying that might be a possibility for her to do something like that. As I said, the school districts might be upset by that. Either way, we did agree that sending delinquent notices out was probably a good idea, especially if the governor says penalties and such are going to start accruing. But I kind of agree with Lee that sending one out this week, earlier, just to let people know, hey, you need to get this paid, is a good idea.
Does it matter, Lee? I'm asking.
It doesn't really matter. We didn't.
Like, we have a form that we have in Tyler that it just automatically prints and it says official delinquent notice, and I think, well, that's what it is, but I don't think I need to really change anything.
No.
A lot of them are changing the wording, saying it's a courtesy notice. Well, there's still a delinquency. So I thought, well, if I just run them and send them out, I think, and when we do, we get a lot. And then the other thing is the publication. After, if she does decide that we can have a tax sale, then I have to send delinquent notices again, and then I have to publish it in the paper. Well, then you have to get with the nonpareil to make sure when you can publish it, when there is an open space, so then you have to have it 3 weeks before, and then your sale can go on. And the online tax sale that I have used, they say that it doesn't matter, you know, if we do decide to have one, they're available, that they would, you know, cover us and we could have it whenever. So it's not like we couldn't, but the burden on the person, you know, I know I have broad shoulders, but I'm gonna send them a delinquent notice, and then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna send them their new notices for the next year. So, you know, but you have to do what you have to do.
So could this,
Go ahead.
so could this board unilaterally decide we're gonna have a tax sale in October?
Not necessarily.
I would agree, not necessarily, but
Well, I mean, if we're waiting for the governor to tell us whether we can or we can't, then there's really nothing we can do, right?
by the end of this month, we'll know whether or not we would be able to have a tax sale.
And they say the end of the proclamation is July 25th. Well, then people, you know, get the weekend. So that would be July 27th or whatever would be when they would start the first of the, but then they said that they were gonna extend it for, you know, 27th through the 31st, is what we've heard too, that the penalties, you know, so it's just,
So this
Guessing.
one, this one here.
I just
No,
put a
this-
few on
right.
there.
So, this isn't the top 20?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. So this is the top 20?
Correct.
Okay, that,
Correct.
I didn't, is this total, I didn't add this up, is this total over here on this sheet?
Yeah, that's for this week. And that's your total, the
That's for
3
this
point.
week.
Yes, that's this week. And last week I had,
So the.
I
this-
collected 82,000 for 1 week of taxes.
Right.
From last week to this week.
Okay, so the total due, the 3.7 is,
Yes.
is there a number, does that equate to that 2,700 properties, or is there a parcel?
This is the total for everything.
Yeah, the 3.7,
Correct.
but it does, how many,
It says count on the side. Is
how
that
many
parcels
units?
that-
How many?
how many
It's
you-
over here, it's like, I messed, here, you got 2,500 of real estate taxes and
And 22 something of.
227 mobile homes, and you got, you know,
Okay.
that's what, you know, that's what's
Okay.
left over here, and,
Right.
which is 16%.
Okay,
You have 90-some% that have already been paid.
yeah, okay.
So-
That's why I just wanted to make sure I was
Yep,
reading.
and I just made a list of 20, that the biggest top outstanding ones, and when I researched, you know, usually, you know, they pay. So maybe, you know, a lot of people have forgot, there's things that, you know, have went on that we are,
That line's running, this line, graph line.
it's about the same, and
running
that's what
about-
surprised me, you
running
know, is that
about
it's
Normal.
about even with your graph, that, you know.
If you didn't, you know, if you throw in 15 to 16, if they all look the same or
Isn't
not.
there some federal legislation coming down too that's saying that they can't be forced out because of COVID-related delinquencies or whatever? I know
Well,
this is
they've
a state
stopped
bill,
the,
but-
like, deeds that they can take to a house, like, you know, these investors that have paid, and then they can't start their deed process until after this proclamation would, you know, start, but the person could still come in and redeem their properties.
Okay.
So that won't happen until after, like August 1. But I just thought you should know.
Well, I don't, you know, I guess it's your call, to be honest with you, as
Oh,
far.
yeah. Mhm.
No, but I'm just saying, I mean, if you wanna send out,
I think that is a plus, and I think I need to. When we do, you wouldn't believe how many, oh my gosh, I forgot, you know, or, oh no, I better be getting on it and sending a notification, so. And it'll say on the notification, it'll say that they have until the 31st of July, which it will be, because, you know, we're not gonna,
well, yeah,
Start
and
their
then how many of
penalties.
them are the same? I don't know, can you break it out or and send one notice for a person that has, I guess, 5 of these already, or you gotta send them 5 notices, I don't,
no, they're all on one notice, it all prints on one notice.
for the multiple
Yep,
person?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, and
So
it's all one, and
So it may
we,
not be the whole.
it's all together.
It may not be the whole.
Like the
deal.
top one, I think there was like, they had maybe 6 parcels, and then, you know, others have, you know, more, not
Right.
just one, but they'll all be listed on, and the total will be that total.
Have you done that in the past?
We do that every time, we do that, we usually do them May 1st,
Done-
but then it was canceled, so we couldn't send out delinquent notices May 1.
Oh, okay, so we didn't do it.
No. No, we
Okay,
couldn't do
but we
it.
normally do it.
Yes.
So that.
Twice a year we do it.
The number's gonna be somewhat similar to what you
Correct.
done in May.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So maybe we can just, put a little fire under them and, and then, depending on what she decides, I think I'll be back to get some, maybe make a decision. I don't know if I really wanna make the decision all by myself. It's a hardship for a lot of
Send the
people.
letter, or
Pardon me?
you don't wanna make the decision to send the
No,
letter?
no, I'll send a letter, as far as a tax sale goes,
Oh.
I just think that's, yes, I can make the decision, but we'll see.
If you just take a look at the number she provided us at 3.7 million, on rule of thumb, schools take 40% of that, that's about 1.5 million they're losing in revenue. And if you look at the county side of it, we're usually right around the 20% of your tax dollar. That's 750,000 that the county is not going to receive.
Pay for a rifle range.
So,
Well, I
but,
mean,
when Lee does send those notices out, that's normal tax sale is about 3 million to begin with.
Yes,
And then when she sends the notices out, it drops to about 1.5 to 1.8 that's not paid for.
Mhm.
And there are a number of mobile homes that are in that number as well, but
that never get paid for, and the county gets them, so, you're a proud owner of a mobile home.
when she has a tax sale, all the taxes are caught up to date, so everybody gets their money.
is that mobile home number going down every year?
No,
or
we get so many more,
It's going up, huh?
seems like.
What do we do with them?
Was it the feds? Where was it at I think in Iowa that they stepped in and made, allowed the mobile home person to own the ground because somebody was gonna come in and buy it and triple the price of the rent on the
Mobile
mobile home where it was at the park.
Mhm.
The feds stepped in, I thought it was, or somebody did, some big one in Iowa somewhere. And said, you gotta offer to sell it to the individual.
home, that has the mobile home there,
And yeah, boy, that'd be a mess if they start down that road.
The issue with the mobile home is it's mobile.
No, I know,
So-
well, it's not.
Well, so no,
Buyer
I'm
beware,
serious.
you don't know if it's sitting there
If
or
an
not,
investor takes a look at it and says, well, I'm not gonna pay the licensing fees for this mobile home because I can pay the taxes on it and tomorrow it's gone.
Right, well, if it's got the access
'Cause-
still on it.
Yeah,
So
so,
we've collected a
people
lot as
don't
far
do
as
it.
mobile homes,
Does that happen a
because
lot?
Yeah,
I do not know that it's ever happened that you pay a tax sale and then the mobile home disappears.
No, it's a good point, I'm just curious.
But
they
it-
scrapped them out before, and
But
they
yeah.
weren't there. And
It
then
certainly can happen
It
if you don't
has,
do your,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're not there and you just paid for it, and, but we can now put a stop on their motor vehicle registration because they haven't paid their mobile home taxes. And we get that collected a lot because they want their car license, so, that's only plus that we have.
but that's a really, well, I'm gonna say, it's an insignificant number, but it's a pretty low number compared to the rest of the numbers
Sure.
as far as.
Right.
So for the tax sale piece of this, back to your kind of question there is, state code will certainly help you make the decision, but are you the decision maker under
Yes.
state code?
Yes.
So I think once we get guidance from the governor, then we'll revisit it and we'll help you make that call.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's
It is what it is.
your elected official's
Yes,
office
I'm
to do it,
not-
but we'll help you.
Yes,
Are most of your, counterparts, the treasurers, seeing a similar graph saying similar the same?
more or less.
Really?
But then there was some that sent a courtesy notice, they changed everything, but they only had, they didn't have 3,000 or whatever. And, they sent it in the first part of June, and they got a few of them, we got 1 point whatever million, and, just because they sent that little notification. So, I think that's what needs to be done, and
Can you also, maybe identify and, I don't know, Matt or Pam, if there's any of them that are the 40, I wanna say 43 or whatever, that are trying to get potentially bought out of from the flood?
Oh, I don't know anything about, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
It just, I don't know.
I don't know, these were more or less the one, I mean, those didn't seem anywhere on your list or whatever were, in that area, I guess I should
Yeah, I'd
say.
be curious, because there's like 40, was there 40-some residents that are looking for the buyout or something
Yeah,
like that?
that's
So
what I was thinking.
that might be a chunk of them.
Mhm. Yep,
No, I don't know if it is, it'd just be,
well, you just have the top one, I mean, you know, there,
right.
that list goes on. And
Those were mostly.
those were the highest dollar
Yeah, those are
ones.
most of those look like they're commercial
Mhm.
entities, and, a lot of the hospitality people, I know they're probably having
Did
trouble.
Virgil Anderson pass away?
No,
No.
no,
He's still, okay.
He's still alive.
Okay.
he's maybe
I
not
thought
in the
that might be
great,
the
maybe
reason.
not the greatest
No.
shape.
Like him.
No, it is, they do this every year.
No,
Oh,
Virginia,
they-
yeah,
oh,
Virginia,
okay.
that's
And then they come in after the tax sale and pay.
slow pay.
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure probably Red Giant's gonna come in and,
Right, and those, you know, and then the ones like the stores, they were closed during that period, so now they're open, so I think, you know, that was part of it too.
yeah.
And, you know, they could be working from home
Yeah.
also. And
Who is Rodney Bentley? Is that an
He's
owner?
a farmer,
Oh, a
feeds
farmer.
cattle
Oh, okay, thank
down in
you.
Macedonia.
Not
Oh,
anymore.
okay, thank
But
you.
then no, he died.
Mhm.
He went, he died.
Oh, he's
I'm
gone.
okay. A couple years ago, it might be because it's tied up into
I was gonna say
estate
this is,
or probate
yeah,
or something.
his estate, okay.
So Lee, has there been any discussion between all the treasurers in the state or the state to have a sale on the same day? Is every county on the same day?
More or less, but then the, quite a few of them, however many, you know, do it, online, and then they said they can have them, you know, whenever, you know, they don't have to have them all at the same time. More or less, if somebody is going to, because when it was first come out, they said that, you know, the treasurers were in agreement to not have a tax sale, and then you get, you know, the bigger counties that are saying, whoa, we didn't say that, you know, we could have one if it's allowed. And I, you know, like, it was Black Hawk, it was, Scott County, it was, you know, Lynn County, bigger ones that said, no, we're not opposed to not having one, so. But, you know, if it is decided, you know, I'm sure there'll be quite a few if they decide to have it at the same time. But your
Thank you,
steps before that,
Leanne,
you know.
this is a great report, thank you. Very
Well, thank
interesting.
heavens Leanne was on it. That, you know, could help, because the treasurers asked ISAC, and then ISAC, and they talked to the governor's office, and then I don't know if it was revenue, said you had to have Attorney General's opinion on this whole situation, and that somebody had to go through
They
the
have to-
county.
They have to request it specifically, and talking with the AG's office, that particular person said it doesn't come directly to him, so he doesn't know if a formal request has been made, but honestly, the AG's office very seldom gives the formal opinions anymore. So, they were thinking maybe having this little study group that we have, getting input would be a better way to go.
So
Because-
did they, when she did that, what was it, in March? Is that when she suspended them? or whatever? So at that point, did they just sit at that value then? So those investors,
Well, April got their 2% interest, and then May 1st through May 27th, they didn't get that, but then May 28th, then they put it back on to get the 2%, and then June and July is back, so as far as the investor tax sale part goes.
okay, so they just lost 1
Right,
month basically.
right.
Okay. 'Cause I didn't know if that would eliminate some potential buyers going forward if they're not. So they just basically wiped out 1 month.
Right,
Okay.
and now they're back to, which could be a lot of money.
Yeah, depending on
Yeah.
buying all over the country and stuff, I suppose, yeah.
And they were allowed, the investor was allowed, and that's why a lot of it came up, to pay subsequents on their tax sales for the second half. And we had quite a few do that, the big investors or, you know, whoever, they paid. I think I only have a,
2% per month?
yes. I think I only have a couple that didn't pay it, and I'm sure, you know, they still can, but. Okay,
And then, so the second step is on the 25th, is that what it was?
right.
So then is that when they allow you to start the process of, or is that?
It depends on what the governor does.
Does.
If she allows it to lapse, you know, the current proclamation to lapse and nothing further, then yes, we would have to decide whether or not going to have a tax sale, when we're gonna have it and all of that.
No, but on the people that have, say, the right to redeem,
They have
Oh,
until
okay.
the 27th.
okay, so do the courts have to be involved in that redemption?
No,
Okay, so they just start that process,
Correct.
give the notice and.
Right. And investors still had the right to file their 90-day
Right.
affidavit. It's just that, you know, it couldn't, they still had that option to pay.
Okay. Well, it'd be a new one for the, hopefully a new one is never done again.
Right. That's what I say too. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you.
it's not entirely new because the tax sales were suspended for 2 years back in the 30s during the Depression.
Really?
But I wasn't here then.
New for us, I guess, we were in the 30s. Can't imagine, that probably the number that we're talking about here today was probably the total
The whole
number
total of the taxes, yeah. Yeah, could be.
in the 30s, huh?
Well,
Wow.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah,
No action on that one. Okay, so next we got David Byer, Chief Information Officer, discussion decision. Approving and authorizing chairman to sign IT support agreement between the Emergency Management Agency and Potawatomi County IT Department. Pretty cut and dry. It's just a renewal, right, of what we.
A few words were changed just to match what we do for them.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, second.
Is that just an annual agreement, right, David?
It's an agreement until one of us terminates it.
Okay.
The only reason we're doing a change now is because we found this didn't match what we were doing for them, so we did a little update between the both of us.
Okay,
So do they have a combination working with the city IT too then, or?
They do.
Okay. So it's kind of a double.
Yeah, I don't know what that agreement looks like with them. I
Okay.
assume that's written, but I don't know.
Okay.
You spend much time with them, David? No, I didn't think so. Did you get a motion on that, Chairman
got a
Chauncey?
motion and a second.
Okay.
I guess at this point we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Okay, next we got the approval of Pay Central Square's annual maintenance invoice. I guess the question again is, are they done?
They are done with the Adashi piece, which is the fire department piece.
Wow.
That was installed on 6/25 a couple weeks ago. I verified with Justin and Loretta, both from fire department, that it was functional. It had been for a week at that time, and they're both in agreement that it was working fine. So, there are still a few outstanding items, but not from this contract anymore. So, I would recommend that we go ahead and pay this. We will have a second payment this year, so we're already into the next fiscal year now, so we'll be paying them twice this year. So I've already talked to Becky Belt about that. I did not spend this money out of my budget last year, so that money carried over. So there would be an amendment of some sort that we would ask for, but that money was
I'll
given back.
move that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any other discussion?
Well, the only other discussion is that, did we bill all the partners?
We built the three different agencies. We've received payment from two of them. The third one was gonna pay this fiscal year.
Okay.
So I expect a check from them soon.
Okay, and then,
And then they'll get double billed also. So
Right.
we'll bill them again in February when the new one comes to us.
and then there was, if I remember right, there was, I don't know, several quotes that were pending this
Correct.
being, processed. Are those quotes then gonna come to you this week?
So once we pay this and they receive the payment, then I will re-request those quotes.
Okay,
I believe them to just be sitting there waiting to be emailed to me. Once they're emailed, then we will talk amongst our committee that we have and decide what we want to do with those.
was there a guesstimate? I mean, those were all just one time.
Little nickel and dime things here and there.
Yeah,
They
but
would not.
one-time numbers, right?
Correct.
And then would they be folded in to the annual maintenance or not, or would they just be one-time fixes and be done?
So one of them is a data conversion thing, so that would be a one-time, that wouldn't be an annual maintenance item.
Okay,
One was another interface between another system that the jail has. So if we were to go forward with that, that would be an annual item because we would want to maintain that interface. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what the other one, there was a third one, but I can't remember what it was.
but there may be a
Oh, the other one was the state courts interface, which is a big one. That was one, it's complicated, but here's what happened. We have an interface with the state courts called EDMS. It's so that the deputies and the officers can collect affidavits from people, and then that would go straight to the court system from Zerker. Zerker went ahead and built that tool. They met with the state said, oh, we've changed our code. So that tool that Zerker built is no longer usable. It wiped out that whole work because there was no communication between the state and Zerker did not go well. So that needs to be rebuilt, and so that was going to be another quote for that rebuild of that tool.
it's really Square, Central Square, not.
Central Square, right? I say Zerker because that's what most people are familiar
Right.
with, but Central Square is the company now. Zerker is the software.
So they would need to have a substantial client base in Iowa to ride it. This, what do you, EMS?
EDMS.
EDMS is probably unique to Iowa, or is that courts?
No, it's
all
unique to
across?
Iowa, yes.
Just courts in Iowa. Okay. Okay, thank you. Appreciate all your work on that, David. I know it's been we've been talking about this probably for
Years.
3 or 4 years anyway, and I know you weren't wanting to take it on, but I really appreciate you taking it on.
You're welcome.
I know it's been some agonizing, but it's probably another good partnership we've gotten with,
City?
with the city and with the other entities, whether it's Carter Lake and the other agencies that we have to work with and stuff, so.
Yep,
I thank you too, David.
thank you, appreciate that.
Huge amount of work, huge.
All right, well, with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
David.
All right, now we have other business. We have the approval of the Iowa State Association of Counties, ISAC fiscal year 2021 member dues in the amount of $5,900.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That did that change much?
I don't think we raised it.
Is that by population or something?
No,
No.
it's per county. Used to be by population, and they had a big stink years ago, and they said, okay, every county pays the same amount. Because they get the same benefit.
Okay, well, I would, like to, I guess, I don't know, was it first reading of that ordinance on,
ATVs.
ATV, UTVs, get that put on the agenda to do the first, I think we had to do 3 readings of it total.
Okay.
Try to get that on there.
Okay.
Then,
So yeah, we'll do next week.
then I can't remember the date that we approved, I think, did we approve 2 months of courthouse contract, or was it, I think it was 2 months for the people to clean and,
I think it was 3.
oh, was it 3?
I thought it was 3.
Well, I was thinking it was 2.
Well, maybe just bring Matt in for an update on everything there too. You know,
Where we're,
just an update on.
I mean, schools are gonna go back, I think, in August, and we need to probably figure out what those expenses look like and where we're at. And we should be able to get a report maybe next week. Let's see, July, well, if not next week, the following week on where we're at with finances and stuff, and then maybe an update from the, oh shoot, what was the name of that outfit that he, was having work on the grants and stuff, was it Wiggins?
Oh, yeah,
Witten or whatever?
yeah, there's some, the
Oh,
gentleman we hired to help with.
Widow Bryan.
Widow Brian, yeah.
That's it.
And then-
Scott, are we working on with Matt that ATV thing becomes coded in our ordinance?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's,
Matt has to be, publish also, that's why I was telling her that,
okay, so that's taken care of.
well, he's gotta put it into his, Ps of ordinances also, but he knows about it, he's aware.
I need to
And
bring
it's
the
about-
recorder in too, don't we?
It's about what?
The recorder?
Yeah,
Can we charge
Mark's got all this stuff too. But it's about somewhere around 20 grand a year to more. You know, so we should probably maybe take some of it and give it some of it to roads, so we'll need to decide how to do that. At $50, based on the numbers that are out there now. So, I didn't think it'd be that kind of money, but apparently there's a bunch of them out there.
All right, well, with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay. We are adjourned.
Oh, Leanne?
Yes.
11:35.
Are we off, Mr. Hauser?